Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, I will discuss Browser Object Model or the BOM. The Browser Object Model is used to interact with the browser. All browsers are split into different parts or objects that can be accessed using JavaScript. Collectively, these parts are known as Browser Object Model. Every web page resides inside a browser window which can be considered as an object. At the very top of this browser hierarchy is the window object. The browser default object is window object, and this represents the entire browser with its toolbars, menus, status bar, and the page itself. Effectively, the window object is the browser. Underneath the window object, there are lots of other objects you can access. The window object consists of document object, screen object, navigator object, history object, and location object. These are the children of window object. The document object represents your page. It is also called DOM, the document object model, which represents the content of the page or represents the HTML document. You can manipulate the page content using JavaScript. The screen object contains information about the display capabilities of the client. The navigator object holds information about the browser. The history object contains the history of pages visited by the user. The location object contains details on the current page's location. In the next video, I will start discussing window object in details and will continue discussing each of its children object individually. Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, I will discuss window object in JavaScript. The window object is the top level global object in client-side JavaScript, and it represents the browser's frame or window in which your web page is contained. Every web page resides inside a browser window which is considered as an object. This browser window is accessed using the window object. All the global variables and functions are properties of this window object. In fact, the global functions and variables are all created as properties of this global window object. For example, I will declare a global variable. I will give it a name variable x and I will assign it some value. This global variable x will become part of this global window object. You can use this global window object to access this variable x like this way. I will use alert statement or alert box to show you the result of window.x statement. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the page. As you can see, this global variable x becomes part of window object and it can be accessed using the global window object. Same goes for the global functions. I will declare a global function. I will give it a name function y. And inside this global function, I'll write a JavaScript statement. I will use document.write method to display a message. I will say global function invoked using window object. Now I will use the global window object to invoke this function y like this way. I'll save this script again. I'll refresh the page. I will click on the OK. As you can see, this function y is executed or invoked using the global window object. So all the global functions and variables are created as properties of global window object. The window object is a global object. You don't need to use its name to access its properties and methods. For example, the alert method. I have been using the alert method since the beginning of this course is in fact the method of window object, although I have been using this simply as this. As I said, the alert is the method of window object, so you can call it using the window object like this way. I will go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. As you can see, this is the first alert box which is invoked without the window object, and this is the second alert box which is invoked using the window object. However, since the window object is the global object, it is perfectly correct to use the first version, this one. The confirm and prompt are also methods of window object. You can use the window object like this way to invoke the confirm dialog box. Prompt is also a method of window object. I will comment out these two lines. I will go ahead, I'll save this script, and I will show you the result of these two JavaScript statements. I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. As you can see, this is the confirm box which is invoked using the window object, and this is the prompt box which is invoked using the window object. So confirm and prompt are also methods of window object, and you can invoke the confirm and the prompt method without the window object, as I have been doing it in the previous videos. Now I will discuss some more properties and methods of this window object. I will create some space. I will comment out these two lines. If you want to get the width and height of browser window, you can get them using the window object. I will use document.write method to display the width and height. To get the width of a browser window, you use window object dot inner width property. This inner width property will return the width of browser window in pixels. I will copy these two lines and I will add it for the height. To get the height of browser window, you use window.innerHeight property. This inner height property will return the height of browser window in pixels. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. As you can see, the inner width property returns the width of this browser window in pixels, and inner height property returns the inner height of this browser window. If you want to get the exact measurement for width and height, you can use the outer width and outer height property. Let me copy these lines. This time I will use outer width. To get the outer width includes scroll bar and toolbars. For that you use window.outer width property, and this include scroll bar and toolbars, and the same go for the outer height property. For that you use window.outer height property. This will return the height of browser window including the scroll bar and toolbars. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh this page. As you can see, the outer width returned the width of this browser window including the scroll bar and toolbars, but this outer width property will return the exact width of this browser window, and the same goes for the outer height property. You can also set the name for a window using the name property. You use window.name property and you set or assign some name to a browser window. And to get the window name, you use window.name property and it will return the name for the window and a line break. I will go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the page. As you can see, it returns the name for this window. You can also use the close method of window object to close a window. For that, you use window.close method. This close method will close the window for you. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. Now, as soon as I click on this refresh icon, this window will be closed. Did you see the window is closed using the close method? I will comment out this line. You can also open a new window using the open method of window object. To open a new window, I will use window.open method. This will open a new window. I'll save this script. I'll open the index.html file again. As you can see, this script has opened a new window for you. I will close this new window. You can also pass some arguments to this open method. For example, if you want to open a window with some specified URL, you can pass the URL inside these parentheses. I will pass the Udemy URL. You can also specify the name for this window like Udemy window, and you can also set the width and height for this window like this way. This statement will open a new window with this specified URL, and the height and width of this window will be 150 by 150. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh this page. As you can see, it has opened or created a new window with Udemy URL, and the size of this window is 150 by 150. I will close this window. You can also resize this Udemy window using the resize to method. For that, I will assign this window to a variable. I'll say Udemy window. I'll use this variable, and now I'll resize this Udemy window using this variable Udemy window dot resize to, and inside these parentheses I'll specify the width and height. This time I'll specify the width as 250 and height also as 250 pixel. This resize to method will resize this Udemy window to these new dimensions. I'll save this script. I'll refresh. As you can see, this time it has opened a bigger window with 250 by 250 dimensions. I'll close this window. You can also use the move to method to move a window. I'll move the Udemy window to some certain coordinates. I'll use the Udemy window variable, then move to method, and inside these parentheses I'll specify the x and y coordinates like 350 for the x coordinate and 200 for the y coordinate. This move to method will move this Udemy window to these coordinates. I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. As you can see, the move to method has already moved the Udemy window to a specified coordinates. I'll close this window. Some of the properties of window object are themselves objects. Those objects include document object, screen object, navigator object, history object, and location object. These all objects are properties to the window object. I will discuss all of these important objects individually in the coming lectures. So in this video, I covered window object and some of its property. Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, I will discuss window object timing in JavaScript. You can execute JavaScript code in specified time intervals. There are two methods which allow execution of code at specified time intervals. These methods are setTimeout method and setInterval method. I'll first discuss setTimeout method of window object. To show you how setTimeout method works, I'll first define a function. I will give it a name, say hello to world. Inside this function, I'll simply alert a message. Now, if you want to execute this function after waiting a specified time interval, you can use the setTimeout method of window object. I will use window object and then I will access setTimeout method. This setTimeout method is used to execute a block of code after waiting a specified number of milliseconds, and inside these parentheses you can pass some arguments. In the first argument you pass the function to be executed. In this case I will pass say hello to the world, and in second argument you pass the time in milliseconds. This time is in milliseconds, and 1000 milliseconds are equal to 1 second, and this is the number of milliseconds to be waited before the execution of this function. After waiting this number of milliseconds, this function will be invoked. The setTimeout method is executed only once. It doesn't repeat itself, which means after the 2 seconds this function will be invoked, but this process will not be repeated. I will go ahead, I'll save this script and I will show you the result inside the browser. I will open the index.html file. Now after waiting the 2 seconds, this dialog box has been appeared. Now I will click on the OK, and I will show you that the setTimeout method will not be executed again because it doesn't repeat itself. So as you can see, the setTimeout function is not repeating itself. As you know that the window object is the global object, so you can also use this method without the window prefix. Like this way, I will comment out this line and I will simply copy this part of this JavaScript statement. So now I am going to execute the setTimeout method without the window object because window object is the global object. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script again. I'll refresh this page and you will see the same functionality after 2 seconds. This dialog box has been appeared, and this time I used directly the setTimeout method without the window prefix. Now if you want to prevent this function execution of this setTimeout method, you can use the clearTimeout method of window object. The clearTimeout method is used to prevent the execution of setTimeout method, and for that I will assign this setTimeout method to a variable, and then you simply pass this variable to the clearTimeout method. Now this clearTimeout method will prevent the execution of this setTimeout method. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. So after waiting the 2 seconds, this time the alert box will not appear because I have used clearTimeout method to prevent the execution of this setTimeout method. Next I will discuss the setInterval method of window object. I will comment out these 2 lines, this one and this one. You can access the setInterval method with or without the window prefix. I will use the window prefix to access the setInterval method like this way. In these parentheses you specify the arguments. The first argument is the name of the function to be executed. In this case it is say hello to the world, and the second argument is the time in milliseconds. I will specify 2000, which means 2 seconds. The setInterval method repeats a function execution at every given time interval, or in other words, this setInterval method will continue calling this function after 2 seconds. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. So after waiting 2 seconds, you will see this alert box. I will click on the OK, and now you will see this alert box again. So it is repeating itself. As I said, the setInterval method repeats a function execution at every given time interval, and you can see this execution is repeating itself after 2 seconds. And if you want to prevent this action of this setInterval method, you can use clearInterval method of window object. For that I will assign this setInterval method to a variable, and then I will use clearInterval method, and I will pass this variable to clearInterval method. Let me rename it to stp2. This clearInterval method will prevent the execution of this set interval method. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I will click on the OK. I'll refresh. So this time you will not see the alert box because I have used clear interval method to prevent the execution of this set interval method. So in this short video, I discussed set timeout method and set interval method and how you can prevent them using the clear timeout method and clear interval method. Hi, welcome to this video. In this video, I will talk about screen object in JavaScript. The JavaScript screen object is the child object of window object, and this screen object holds information about the user's screen. The screen object contains information about the dimensions of the visitor's screen and the display settings. If you want to know the user's screen width and height, you can use the width and height property of screen object. Right now I am the user of this system, so let me show you the width and height of this screen. I will use document.write method to display the width and height values. I'll write window.screenObject and then I will write the width property of screen object. This width property of this screen object will return the width value on user screen. You can also access the screen object without the window prefix because window is the global object. I will also add a line break. I will copy these lines of code and I will add it for the height. To get the height value on user screen, you use the height property of screen object. This height property of this screen object will return the height value on user screen. I will go ahead, I'll save this script and I will open the index.html file. So as you can see, this is the width value on this screen and this is the height value on this screen. These values doesn't have concern with this browser window width and height. It is related to the user's screen width and height. Let me show you the width and height of this screen. I will right click, I will choose screen resolution. As you can see, the resolution of this screen is set to 1280 by 1024. Let me change it to something else. I will click on the apply. So now I will refresh this browser again and you can see the updated resolution or the updated dimensions on this system. Let me revert. I'll click on the cancel. So the screen object holds information about the dimensions of the visitor screen and the display setting. You can also use the avail width and avail height properties of screen object to get the only available width and height of screen. It will exclude the width and height of interfaces like Windows taskbar. I'll use document.write method to display the available width and height. I will copy this line of code and I will paste it for the height. To get the available height, you use the available height property of screen object. These available width and available height property will return the user screen only available width and height values, excluding the interfaces like Windows taskbar. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh this page. So this is the available width on this user screen and this is the available height which is subtracted from the Windows taskbar. I have a Windows taskbar at the bottom of this screen. So by using the available width and available height properties, you can get the only available width and height on user screen. You can also get the screen color and pixel depth settings on user screen. I'll use document.write method to display these settings. I'll show you the color depth on user screen, and for that I'll use screen object dot color depth property. This color depth property will return the color depth setting on user screen. I'll add a line break. I'll copy this line of code for the pixel depth. And to get the pixel depth setting on user screen, you use the screen dot pixel depth property. This pixel depth property will return the pixel depth setting on the user screen. I'll go ahead, I'll save this script. I'll refresh the browser. As you can see, these are the color and pixel depth settings on the user screen. So in this video, I covered the screen object, and the screen object holds information about the dimensions of the visitor screen and the display settings.